About Trey's Auto. Today we're going to look at the 2025 Mazda CX-5 and the 2025 Mazda CX-50, and we're going to compare them to see which one is right for you. Let's go for it. Here they are, both 2025 Mazda CX-5 and Mazda CX-50 Turbo Premiums. One in rhodium white and one in soul red. The CX-5 on the left and the CX-50 on the right. Start with the CX-5, which has been in Mazda's mainstay for many years now. You'll notice it's rhodium white with black wheels. Really looks well together. Goes well together, excuse me. The CX-5 has a rounder design than the CX-50. Let's start at the front of the CX-5. You'll notice we have a black grille. We have a painted lower valence there, LED headlights, and we have a more round nose than the CX-5. CX-50. Here's the CX-50 Premium Turbo in the beautiful soul red. You'll notice the design is not as round. It's a little wider and has a lower stance than the CX-5. Has definitely a more sporty look as well. You'll notice on the front of the CX-50 you have LED headlights, the Mazda logo, black grille. And on the bottom, you have not painted trim, but a plastic trim on the bottom there with some silver in the center. But definitely a more flat, aggressive look than the CX-5. 19-inch painted aluminum wheel, 225 by 55 on the CX-5. While the CX-50 has a 245 by 45, 20-inch wheel, black, with some silver trim there. CX-5 has black painted mirrors, painted color matched door handles. At the back of the CX-5 we have the Mazda logo, CX-5 on the left with the all-wheel drive logo below it, and Skyactiv-G with turbo below that, and a black, glossy black painted bumper there on the bottom. Dual exhaust and some plastic trim as well below the painted portion. On the CX-50 we have painted mirrors. We have a roof rack on this option. We have black painted door handles, color matched. And at the back of the CX-50, it's very similar in the layout, but the design is a little different. We have the Mazda logo in the center, CX-50, all-wheel drive below it, Skyactiv-G, and turbo below that. We have a plastic flat bumper there on the lower with some silver trim as well, and dual exhaust as well. Here's where you'll notice the flatter, wider stance. It sits a little lower to the ground as well. The CX-5 sits at 180 inches in length, 73 inches in width, and 66 inches in height. The CX-50 sits at 186 inches in length, 76 inches in width, and 64 inches in height. Pop the hood on the CX-5. The hood of the CX-5, you do have two engine options. You have a 187 horsepower inline four-cylinder with the all-wheel drive standard. You also have a 256 horsepower turbocharged 2.5 liter, both with a 6-speed automatic transmission. There is no CVT option on the CX-5. The turbo four-cylinder looking at gets 22 miles per gallon city and 27 highway. With the hood of the CX-50, you have three engine options. You have a new hybrid system. You also have a four-cylinder naturally aspirated four-cylinder engine producing 187 horsepower. And then there is the current as we're looking at today, 227 horsepower, turbocharged 4-cylinder engine. All-wheel drive is standard as well, and with this turbo engine, you're looking at 23 miles per gallon city and 29 highway. Okay, on the CX-5, there's a button under the Mazda logo. You notice we have a Mazda cargo mat. Underneath is trash right now, but there's also a spare tire. We have some hangers on each side. As far as space, you're looking at 29.1 cubic feet of space. Now, if we fold the second row down, you're looking at 59.3 cubic feet of space. To close, we hit this button as well. To access the liftgate on the CX-50, we hit the same button as well in the same location. Here we have a cargo mat as well. Underneath it is our spare tire. And as far as cargo capacity goes for the CX-50, you're looking at 31.4 cubic feet of space. And with the second row folded down, you're looking at 56.3 cubic feet. On the second row door of the CX-5, you have part plastic here, some soft touch, and some silver trim there. Some soft touch here. There's our switch for our windows, and we have a small cargo area for like a bottle of water. We have nice leather seats with some red trim around it. Very nice looking quality seats. Let's sit in the back. Seating position is very comfortable. We have rear vents. We have a driver's seat pocket, and passenger seat pocket. We have a moonroof. You're looking at 39 inches of headroom and 39.6 inches of legroom. So there is a good amount of space in the back of the CX-5, and the headroom is very good as well. I have plenty of room at 6'5", and I'm very comfortable back here as well. On the rear door of the CX-50, we have some more hard plastic, some soft touch here. It's got a more kind of rugged design, I would say. We have a matte finish here. There's our window controls, and here's our cargo area on our door. It is a little more space here, but you get 2 bottled waters there. We have leather seats as well, with some tan piping around. Material is quite similar. Sitting in the back of the CX-50, you'll notice a panoramic moonroof that goes all the way, almost all the way back across the entire roof. You have no driver's seat pocket, and you do have a passenger seat pocket. You have heated seats in the rear and AC vents as well. You're looking at 38.6 inches of headroom, so it's definitely smaller back here as far as headroom goes, and you're looking at 41.7 inches of legroom. So it sits very comfortable, but you are a little more cramped if you are a taller person, so that may be something to think about if you're riding in the back seat for any length of time. Here on the driver's door of the CX-5, you have hard plastic, some soft touch down here, the silver trim there as well. We have our window controls, our mirror controls, and you have a larger door pocket area, bottled water, a couple bottled water, sandwich. And going to the driver's seat, you have power seats, memory seats, nice leather seats with the red stitching as well around the side. Over here you have power lift gate, camera view, lane keep, and the parking sensors with our gas fuel door and our trunk release. Start up the CX-5, push the button on the brake. Here we are with our nice gauges. We have Engine temperature on top there, fuel gauge on the bottom, centered up, we have miles per hour. On the left we have tachometer, we have outside temperature, and our miles on the actual vehicle. Panning back, Mazda logo, there's our volume controls, information that we can toggle through. We click the center, and then we've got some trip and different. And there's our Mazda CX-5, service, and some different gauges to play around with. On the right, we have our adaptive cruise control, our lane centering, and our the CX-5 Turbo has a 10.25-inch infotainment screen. It is touchscreen when you're in Apple CarPlay and Android Auto modes, which is wireless. And in the screen we have information, entertainment, communication, navigation, if equipped, and the settings. So if we go into settings, we have in-vehicle display, sound settings, safety settings, vehicle settings, connectivity settings, and system settings. We go back and we have information like fuel efficiency and vehicle status monitor. We go back again, we have communication for Bluetooth connectivity, and on down here we have the actual toggle, as I call it. It goes up, down, left, and right. You click it down to enter, and it does twist left and right. There's our volume button, there's our navigation button, like I said, if equipped. There's our home button and our button for the music. So if I hit that, it goes right to the FM. And there's our return button. We have park and brake, auto hold. There's our shifter. We put it in reverse, and we have a nice backup camera with trajectory lines. It turned like so, and we have a 360 camera on the right as well. Very nice resolution. There's our push button, and here is our dual zone climate control. We have heated seats, cooling seats. There's our heated steering wheel button as well. So all the nice creature comforts. We have a wireless charging pad there as well. There's our cup holder. And here is our center console, 2 USB-C ports and an auxiliary port. We have a little tray as well. You do have Bose audio as well. The CX-5, we have hard plastic up here. We have some soft touch with some stitching in the center there. Give it a nice look. Soft touch down here and here. We have our door handle, lock and unlocks, rear controls, window controls, and here is our door pocket with enough room for a couple bottled water. Pretty good amount of space. Here's a shot of our interior, driver's seat. Stitching and wheel in the center. We have power driver's seat and power passenger as well, and that is the same way on the CX-5. Let's start it up from the brake, hit the button. Let the chiming get out of the way. There we go. And fuel gauge on the right, water temperature on beside it on the left. Centered up, we have miles per hour, which we can toggle through and change it from digital to analog. We have tachometer on the left. We have Mazda logo in the center. On the left side of the steering wheel, we have the volume controls, source controls, much like the CX-5, Bluetooth connectivity, and then we have the info button, which on the CX-5 is on the right. Over here we have adaptive cruise control and lane centering, and there's cruise control right there as well. The infotainment screen on the CX-50 is a 10.3-inch screen with Apple CarPlay, Android Auto capabilities. You can do touchscreen if it's in CarPlay or Android Auto modes, and it's much laid out like the CX-5 with information, entertainment, communication, navigation, if equipped, settings. That's everything with that is similar and the same. You go down here and the toggles are the same. You got a little different layout, but you got the button for the radio on the right there, and that will get it to the radio. Home buttons here, return button, and navigation button. I think on the CX-5 they're just swapped, so nothing any different there. You have auto hold, park and brake, volume button, and your favorites. So that's similar. You put it in reverse, same way. On this premium CX-50, you do not have the 360 camera, and the resolution is not as good, and it's no trajectory lines as well. So that's something to think about. You can get it, but you got to opt for it. Here's a storage area, no charging pad there. Here's our cup holder. Nice center console, opens on each side. 2 USB-C ports. You do have heated seats, cooling seats, dual zone climate control. But you do have Bose audio. This CX-5 2025 Turbo Premium is $40,300. While this CX-50 Premium Turbo is $44,190. And here we are behind the wheel of the CX-5. The CX-5 was introduced in 2013 to the US market, and since then it's been a mainstay and a fan favorite for any Mazda enthusiast. Now, it hasn't changed a lot over the years, but it hasn't really need to, as the sales have just been phenomenal, and it drives just like a premium vehicle, very nice. And here we are behind the wheel of the Premium Plus Turbo, and this engine is just a peppy, very responsive engine. Let's get on it. Slight bit of lag, but once it kicks in, it's really responsive, and with this 6-speed automatic transmission, just really impressive. The CX-5 compared to the CX-50, it's got a little higher ride height, and that kind of shows there is some, slight body roll, but it just feels very planted and just easy to zip around town and drive. But it is going to have better visibility, and for some taller people, that's also another feature, that I do have more interior space in the CX-5 compared to the CX-50. And in my opinion, it does drive better than like a Honda CR-V or the Toyota RAV4. Mazda just got a phenomenal product here in the CX-5. It does corner very nice, and just really smooth ride. About this compared to the CX-50 is the nose has kind of got an angle to it, so you don't see that full hood like you do on a CX-50. But that's kind of a preference to the driver. And for the CX-5 at the $40,000 mark, you're getting a very nice vehicle. Not quite as big as the CX-50, not quite as wide, a little more height in the interior cabin space, but at $4,000 and a higher price on the CX-50, worth the difference. Let's go behind the wheel of the CX-50 and see what we got. Here we are behind the wheel of the CX-50. This is marks the 3rd year in production in the U.S. Right off the bat, you do notice the height difference. You're sitting a little lower. You're a little more lower as far as even looking at the hood. And you do have more of a feeling of like you're sitting on the ground, which I'm not saying is a bad thing, but that also brings me to the next point, is the car drives completely different. Nothing like the CX-5. As far as the turns goes, it's a little less on the wheel as far as the angle you got to take. It's got to hit bumps a little rougher. It gives you that more of a kind of an off-road type of feel, which makes this vehicle, you know, better in, or more adaptable in a off-road type environment, which was kind of what it was built for, going up against Subaru. As far as the steering, I have to say it drives a little better than the CX-5. I like how the hood has a more flat angle to it, and you can see farther out there, and then it kind of gives you a feel that you're driving a bigger vehicle, which you are. I have to say my seating position is more comfortable in the CX-50. I do have less headroom in the second row seating, but that's not really a concern of mine. It does feel more planted to the ground. The wider stance does make a difference. I think you would make it notice a difference on the highway as well at higher speeds. Let's get on the throttle and see what we got. The turbo in this CX-50 definitely feels more responsive, no lag, and just instant, very nice torque and power. I like the engine in this, made it to this car a little better than I do in the CX-5. Negative would be at the $44,000 mark, we do not have the 360 camera and the better resolution screen like was in the CX-5 at the $40,000 mark. I feel like, I'm not sure that's justifiable. And I do feel more comfortable behind the wheel of this CX-50 than the CX-5 as far as seating position and handling. And I also really like the looks of the CX-50 to go with it. We made it this far in the video, and I really enjoyed looking at the CX-50 and CX-5 today and kind of doing a comparison. It's a really tough decision. I guess I would have to kind of, for my lifestyle, I would go CX-50 just because I like the driving characteristics of the car with the turbo engine and this premium trim. Both nice vehicles, and I do wish at the price point of $44,000 you got the nice resolution backup camera with the 360 camera beside it instead of the standard backup camera. But you know, I can't be too picky, as it kind of is what it is. I like how the turbo engine performs in the CX-50. I like the instant power you get out of it, and I like how it's kind of low to the ground, turns very nice, takes bumps a little rough, but I kind of like the off-road kind of feel to it as well. And the looks, in my opinion, are a little bit superior to the CX-5, as it's got a nice aggressive look to it as well. For those who have been a CX-5 owner for many years, I don't see them changing because of the introduction of the CX-50 in 2023. I can see them sticking with that tried and true model that's been a staple to the Mazda brand for so many years. I really appreciate you watching the comparison video I did for the Mazda CX-50 and the Mazda CX-5. I hope you enjoyed it. Do me a favor and like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that bell for notifications on all the content we have coming out. I really appreciate it. Thanks. Have a great one.